You know what makes me happy is making you guys happy. That's why Comic Spot was invented. So this crazy Meshuggah little old lady can vet out veterans of comedy. I'm a veteran of the military. Not so much comedy. Really, I've only done it 6 years, but whatever. Anyway, today we have the author of this amazing book that I bought because she's so amazing. She wrote this book, Love at First X. She's been on the Steve Harvey show. I'm getting ahead of myself. She sent me her intro, so let me read it to you before I mess it up. So let's just hold on because I'm an old lady. You can give me a pass on this one. How's that for she's got websites, she's doing books. Oh my gosh, this lady has done it all. And Grace Fraga is her name. She's over there in the other box. And
Yeah, hi.
going way back up to find her intro she gave me months ago. We were doing one of these and it was on old equipment. It was really bad audio and really bad video. So today we're doing it on expensive studio equipment. I can whisper, I can go like this, and you'll hear it. Oh my gosh. So this is her intro. These are her words because I don't steal comedians' words. Grace Fraga, the Latina Murphy's Law comedian and relationship coach. You know, comics need that. She wrote Love at First X. And her credits include being on the Steve Harvey show. Yeah, eat our hearts out. Feel free to visit her website and see if you'd like to add anything else. Oh, that was for me. My bad. This is her.
That was the message, yes.
You know, that's when I say, oh, I'm old. Anyway, let's welcome her to the stage. The one and only. There better not be another because it'll never be as good as her. She hosts a show. She has a podcast live stream. She has a podcast. She's in the middle of developing something else I have to hear about. And she's written books like this one. Did I mention Love It? I think I did. Love at First X. Yeah. So here we are, Grace. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful intro. Oh, Linda, thank you so much. You're such a great interviewer. That's why I'm back. I loved being on your podcast last time. So you're amazing. Thank you.
Talk to me about, we talked about your entire life through comedy the last time. Do you want to brush through that real quickly about how you got into comedy and how it's been going? Or do you just want to jump into what you're doing now? It's totally up to you.
We can do a little background check. That's fine. Like, what has she done? Check. Yeah, well, I started comedy about, I don't know, like 20 something years ago in New Orleans when I lived there. Yeah, I know. And I'm only like 25. We'll figure. And I started when I was 5. Yeah, sure. But anyway, so people would be like, you need to just stand up. You need to just stand up. And I loved stand up. So I finally got the balls to do it. And, we did a graduation show for a class and it was great because everybody is like their friends, our family, everybody. So then in New Orleans, there were not many comedy clubs. So we had to go to like biker bars. So I did like my first biker bar. I was like, oh my God, this sucks. So I kind of like, took a little break, a couple months, and then went back. And it was a love-hate relationship in the beginning, as we all know. It's like you want to do it, you love it, but it's tough to do it in the beginning. You're not going to be like, everybody's going to laugh and all your jokes are going to hit. So, but I have not been able to stop ever since. And I love doing everything comedy, writing and producing and the whole thing. And hopefully directing at some point. I don't know.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I would love to direct.
So how did you get into writing and producing? Like what like met some people and they said, or somebody noticed a talent? How'd that happen?
No, I noticed the talent. I'm
Get
like, okay. I was like, I kind of like to write. But I started when I was really young. I would do like little about my family because my family was extremely dysfunctional, like every other family. And so I would do like little albums, like I would put like magazine pictures and then like, this is my brother, like whatever. And so back before, this is like, I'm dating myself, but it's okay. So I would just do those little, like, whatever you want to call the scrapbooks. And so I was, my family would be like, this is funny. I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I just love to do it. And I kept writing, every time I have something going on inside me, I think it, like I process it, and then I have to write about it. It's like an urge. It's just, and that's why stand-up is such a great medium for people like us. We have all these thoughts and all these issues that we need to process, and then we need to make fun of them because that's the only way we can deal with it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So writing and producing, tell me about early on writing and producing, and how, like when we look back at our comedy, we go, oh, can't believe I did that. Are there things,
yeah.
right? Are there
Rewrite.
yeah, look back and go, oh Lordy. And
Yeah.
so are there things with writing, producing that you did at the beginning that you're like, oh, I can't believe I did that?
Not really. You know why? Because I waited and I trained myself and I worked, I produced, I co-produced.
She's a winner.
Thank you. I co-produced and co-wrote a show called Dr. Lupus La Picante way before it was like in 2005 or six. And Ann Beats, with Ann Beats, she's from, she was a writer on Saturday Night Live, one of the first female writers, and she created the sitcom Square Pegs, and we became really good friends. And that was like my first writing, producing gig, so to speak.
Wow.
So yeah, but I waited because I was maybe like 4 or 5 years into stand up. So I really waited and trained myself. And of course, working with Ann Beats. How can you go wrong,
Totally.
So
Oh
yeah,
my
that was like my
gosh.
first big production. And then I got hired to write webisodes, and they used to fly me to San Francisco and pay me. It was really nice. And then I got paid for other gigs. And I co-wrote a movie, a feature film, and a TV series with Barney Cohen, who was, he wrote the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch movie, and the sitcom was based on that. I mean, like, I get to work with
Grace.
these amazing people that I'm like, oh my God, I believe that we learn.
They get to work with her.
Thank you. But I learned so much from these amazing people like Ann Beats and Barney Cohen. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. There's no class that can teach you what you learn with them. And I'm like a little sponge. I absorb everything, and I'm like super, not humble, but like I'm a quick study, and I just take in everything they say, and they have taken my writing to a whole different level. Those two wonderful people. Yeah, I absolutely adore them, and we're friends, and the whole thing.
It gives me body chills to hear this story. This is just
Oh,
earth shattering, so fabulous. What a
oh,
life.
thank you. I really believe that, and we need to surround ourselves with people that are 10 times more talented and 10 times smarter, and that's the way we go to the next level. That's what I feel.
How do you get people that are levels above you to want to be around you? I know that you're a strong woman. You are an empowered woman,
Thank
and
you.
but I'm maybe not, because I'm a baby boomer. We didn't learn to say no. We didn't,
Oh,
like I'm one of those could I please, so like how would I go to people way above my level to pitch them to want to spend time with me?
just not be afraid to do it.
Got it.
They're gonna listen to you. They're human beings like you,
Cool.
and they just did more shit than you did.
Get her book.
That's
Get any book she writes.
yeah. I mean, that's and also they're cool. Like Barney and Anna, are really cool people. Of course, if you get somebody who's not cool, okay, but you try it. You go and do it. Have the balls to do it. You already have the no. Go get a yes. That's always been my philosophy.
I love that.
Thank
So,
you.
it like your comedy has just stood the test of so many years. You know, you're
Yeah.
so lucky you started when you were 5.
Yeah. Right.
And your writing and producing is like going up and up.
Yeah.
So, like, if you had to pick one thing that you'd want to be remembered for to this day, looking back, what one thing would you say? Uh, can you even do that, or is it all of everything you've done?
Well, all of everything I've done contributes to what I feel is my mission, you want to call it, or why I'm here on earth, which is to love and help others. So I always like to tell my story, but so that people can connect with it, right? And be like, oh, I'm not the only one going through this. And we do that as humans, right? When we see somebody on the stage or in a movie, you're like, oh my God, I went through that shit myself. And wow, I'm not the only idiot going through that shit. So that's I think my motivation, like I said, to love and help others. So anything that serves that purpose, I'm cool with it. If it serves my ego, not so cool. You know, that's the thing. But being a performer and in the entertainment business, we have to learn how to separate our egos from like, why am I doing this? This is to help myself, obviously, because we do things to help ourselves and to also help others.
Yes. Every single day. I had really crappy jobs over the last 69 years, you
Mhm.
know, and there was one particular job where every day I had to trick F myself to go back to the job and tell myself why I'm doing the job
Right.
and connect to the original purpose. So that's what you're
Yes.
speaking to.
Thank you. You're very, very eloquently and articulate about it. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yes, you
Yeah.
just, and that kind of keeps you focused and with a purpose that goes beyond you.
Yes.
Of course,
Absolutely.
love yourself first because, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So you got to love yourself first and then you can love your neighbor. If you don't love yourself, and you don't help yourself, you can't do that for others, right?
Yes.
So
It's
that's the
taken a long time for baby boomers to figure out, oh, you know
really
what? You don't have to give to others. You need to fill yourself first.
correct. And then it overflows kind of,
Yes.
right? It's like, okay, I'm helping myself. I'm dealing with this issue. Like I'm right now, one of the projects that I wrote with Barney is about narcissistic abuse because I've been through it as a child, right?
Yes.
So I wrote the series that we wrote is based on my life and it's about that topic. So because I dealt with that topic and I was dealing with it at the time, I had to write about it and it overflowed. But first, I had to take care of myself and I had to
Yes.
deal with it myself. I can't just go like, oh, yeah, you're a victim of narcissistic abuse and I have no idea, how to deal with it. It's like,
Exactly.
yeah. So we're
Wow.
starting a podcast actually with Elle Bennett. She's also a victim of actually a cult. She was a cult victim, yeah. And we're starting a podcast called I Heart My Narc, and the heart is broken.
Wow.
I heart my narc because that's one of the things, it's like the Stockholm syndrome. You love your narc, but not good. It's not good for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. So those are two things you're doing, a series and a podcast.
Yes. Well, the series has been, there's a couple of, we're not going to talk about it, but
Yes.
it might get
I
produced.
yes.
So, but not in this country, maybe somewhere else in Spain or whatever, somewhere. I don't know, Spain
Cool.
or Russia. No, not Russia, but whatever. So that's one thing. And then I'm producing Single Broke Dad. We co-wrote and co-created with Dave Rivera, who's a friend of mine, and he's not a writer, but he's a very funny guy, and we based it on his life. And of course, it took off into a life of its own, where it's not his life almost anymore. It's like, just took off. We just like went places with it, and we are producing it. We're going to shoot 7 episodes and we're going to upload it on Amazon Prime. So that's the plan.
Oh, wonderful. My goodness sakes. Where do you come up with the time and the energy and the ability?
And I work for money.
What's your day job?
Well, I teach and tutor kids in Spanish. I also teach swimming. And so those are the 2 things I do. I do it freelance, and I work as much as I want to or as little as I want to.
You know how I'm coping through the pandemic?
How are you doing it? Yes.
Okay, as a jokey kind of, it's not the serious side. I'll say the serious after the funny. Okay, so I know that you're a Latina, right?
Yes.
Well, I don't know a lick of Spanish. I mean, I can go and order coffee and maybe a dinner anywhere in South America, but really, for the most part, I don't know jack diddly about the Spanish language.
Yeah.
And the way I cope through the pandemic is I turn on the news in Espanol.
Oh, you do?
Because I don't know what those words are.
Because you don't know what they're saying, right? It's like
and they're going so fast that it makes me giggle.
The world could be going to shit. You're like, okay, it's going to shit in Espanol, and I don't know what's going on. That's good. That's a great way to do it.
If I ever learn Spanish, I'll probably be crying and stuff. But for now, no. So the way that I cope with the pandemic is right here, right now. I'm telling you, when I'm talking to you, I'm forgetting that the world is crumbling around me and never been shittier. I'm forgetting it.
No, right? It's like, this is like the worst time in human history for real, because it's all over.
Yes.
There's before so it was like, yeah, totally. Like before, like the Roman Empire, it only got to a certain point because they didn't have cell phones, So it's like, okay, we can only do this much damage to this many people. But now it's like, oh my God. It's everywhere.
Never seen it. I've never seen human suffering and
I know
craziness.
Craziness too. Yeah, everything, like all the worst things that could happen, they're happening right in front of our eyes, and it's really wow. We're living some crazy times. I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the future of humanity is going to be at this point.
We don't even know if when we get back to a new normal, if America is going to survive, let alone the rest of the world. We don't know jack diddly. We don't know about the virus. We have more things now we don't know about, and we're aware of everything we don't know. Nobody's telling us what we know. They're just like,
well, there's so much information that is opposite to, if you have so much information available that it's almost like it's impossible to even form an opinion at this point about anything, because it's just so diverse and so conflicting and so extreme at times. The information and the positions that people are taking are really extreme, and a lot of people are not listening to other people's opinion. They're kind of, I blocked this person because they do this, and I blocked this other person because it's like, whoa, dude, just chill. Exactly. It's like we don't, and I think because it's such a stressful time, that's why most people are like taking that attitude of they can't take it anymore. So whoever disagrees with their opinion, they can't listen to it,
Yes.
It's painful.
So hard. There's so much human suffering, and I think there's a lot of people that are having trouble being mentally stable right now, and that's no joke.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Of course. This is crazy. It's tough. A lot of people lost their jobs. We're all scared of, some virus that's floating around that, who knows when it's going to go away. It's really tough.
Yes. And I'm so intrigued by your life as a coach for people to like make what do you call this?
Relationship coach.
Thank you. The word scares me. I can't even remember it.
Well, people always ask me for advice. So I figure why not get paid for it? I give good advice to other people, not to myself sometimes. But now I'm getting there. I'm getting there when I'm giving myself good advice.
Yes,
And following
awesome.
up with it, because that's the thing. Sometimes we know, some people are toxic for us, but we still go back to them.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
So once now I feel like I've reached that point where I might take my own advice. And that's a good point to reach.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. What's Without naming names or getting yourself in trouble, is there a relationship coaching scenario that still to this day cracks you up?
Um,
Or is that too
I
personal
don't,
to ask you about?
well, I don't know. I don't want to put out, information like that.
Yeah.
in
I
the,
know, like I went to a shrink, because I had brain trauma, and they think that you're nuts if you I got hit by a drunk driver in
oh
96,
no.
and I
I'm so
couldn't even
sorry.
tie my shoes, and my daughter had to take care of me, and it was too much for her, and
Mhm.
now we're not speaking, and that's why I do comedy. But in the midst of all that Shakespeare stuff started, the Shakespeare made it funny now, right? So I'm
Yeah.
beyond it. But like when I was mandated by the Department of Veterans Affairs, you have a brain injury, you're going to go to a shrink. I never
Wow.
had any psychological anything about me till I got hit by a drunk driver. Now I go to a shrink, and they give me this lady, and every time, this is just me ragging on a counseling session that was free. Like, I've got a lot of chutzpah to do this, right? And every time I told her a symptom, she would say that she had the same symptom. And so I started lying, and fabricating this just to check her out, and like, wait a minute, that didn't even exist. How can you have it if I have to have it for you to have it? I
That
was
is
messing.
weird. That's she needs help.
I do.
Like, I don't think you needed help. I think she did. That's crazy.
I never stopped going to her for that. But you know what really pushed me over the edge?
What
Is
was
that
over
she
there?
would be late for every appointment because she needed to go to the commissary to get acetaminophen for my appointment.
No.
And
Oh
that
my God.
I had a
That's
problem with.
wow. She should not be doing what she's doing. Seriously, somebody needs to report her. Like,
Totally.
how can she help you? She's a
She,
mess.
oh my gosh, it was crazy. There wasn't anything I could tell her that she also didn't suffer from. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'll keep going back, But when it came to, she's late because she had to get acetaminophen for me. Wait, that's it. I'm done.
Wow. That's like, yeah, yeah, that would definitely be a deal breaker for me too.
I've never even said that whole thing on stage ever. It just came out of me, the whole thing now.
Yeah, you should write it down and like write a bit about it. Wow.
One
That's
time I
probably gold.
One time I went to the VA, Grace, to get a refill on acetaminophen so I could get it for free because the dollar store acetaminophen is beneath me, right? So I
Right.
take the bus for an hour to get it for free. And I go up to the thing and they go, take a number. So I take a number, get in line. It's all men. That's good. But you're in there with all men, God knows, World War II, World War Korea, whatever. They're
Oh
all
wow.
jammed in there. And I get up, finally, they put my name on the board, and I go up and I go, hi, I'm here for my, acetaminophen because I'm cheap. And they're being protocol, right? Do you want to have a consult with the pharmacist? And I'm like,
Wow.
for acetaminophen, I think I got this, right? How stupid. I know I got a brain injury, but I think I got this. And then I got to thinking, wait a minute, what's the most you could take in a day? Why that came to my brain. So I went back up and I said, I do want to talk to the pharmacist about my acetaminophen, because everybody there is on 24 drugs, and I'm not talking like acetaminophen. And so the pharmacist waddles over real slowly, like a really good government worker, and he says, can I help you? Like he wanted to. And I said, yeah, I was just wondering how much of this can you take in a day, right? I'm holding up the bottle. That's his first clue, but he's clueless. And he says, oh, it's okay. It's all in a day's work. And he leaves. And I didn't, and I'm like, no. And the place is cracking up because it was a double entendre and he didn't know it. The stuff that happens to veterans is hilarious.
Oh my God. You should write more about that. That's just craziness.
I got jokes about every department they ever sent me to.
Right. Comedy revenge. Yeah.
Exactly. So talk to me about the books you've written. This can't be your only book, Love at First X. Are there more?
Yeah, I wrote 3 books. Now, there's one, Love at First Ex, that's kind of like the comedy thing, how to love and manage your exes, which is totally silly. And then there was this one, which is a self-help book. No, well, it can be a group if you read it with other people. And then I also wrote The Double Life of Grace. And that was actually the IP, the intellectual property for a sitcom that we were pitching. We pitched like 23 networks and studios and production companies with Steve Scrovan created the sitcom, right? And so I wrote the book as the IP just to make sure it's ours. So that book is also about my life and how it came to the US and all that. So yeah, so I wrote 3 books.
Are you allowed to? What?
I'm hyperactive.
I love it.
I always need to be doing stuff, it's hard for me to relax and not do anything. Do you have that too? Are you like hyper?
Let me show you. There's my table.
Yeah.
Projects.
Always. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, good. It's good to be hyperactive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm developing OCD with it too.
Like oh no.
Really good. I got to check it to me and double check. I'm going down.
Oh my God. I'm too lazy to be OCD. I'm like, I'm not checking. I did it. Moving on. Yeah, not happening.
The book that's your IP that talks about your double life, are you allowed to sell that or has that become property of?
Oh, no, because we didn't sell the sitcom. So we had like 3 bites, but it's hard to sell a sitcom, even with an amazing showrunner like Steve Scrovan, who's a good friend of mine. I love him. He's amazing. He's like an artist. He's awesome. Wow. But it just didn't happen. But it was a great experience. And yes, you can actually buy it on Amazon, The Double Life of Grace.
I'm gonna buy it.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I have to hear about your.
I'll send you one. Don't worry.
I want to pay for it, and I want your autograph.
Oh, you're so cute. I love you. You're so sweet.
So let's talk, because I want to send you the money, and buy it. I don't want
Okay. We can talk after. Yeah, yes, we do business after.
Okay, perfect. And
definitely.
Anybody else, if you want, she's not going to tell you all about her double life and come into America. So you got to buy the book. You got to step out and do things, and that's how you grow.
Totally. Thank you. And they can buy it on my website or they can email me and I'll send them an autographed copy. Grace Fraga comedian @gmail.com. So it's super easy. My name, the word comedian. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I get calls on my laptop too. So Grace Fraga comedian @gmail.com.
Okay. And do you want to go back through everything else that you want to plug to make sure that that's the final wrap up?
Sure. I'm on Facebook. My page is Grace Fraga. Then Twitter is Grace. My Twitter handle is Grace Fraga. My IG handle is Grace Fraga Comedy. My website is Grace Comedian or gracefraga.com. Either one works. Goes to the same place. And yes, you can purchase my book there. My books there.
Yes, 3 books.
And I have a live stream every Sunday, except for this coming Sunday, I'm taking off. But every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I have great guests. I had Lydia Cornell from Too Close to for Comfort yesterday. Wow. Yeah, I have really, really good guests. A lot of times, we talk about stuff that helps other people. Like Lydia talked about her journey to recovery.
Yes, I
um,
saw
you know
that.
yeah, we talk about we had a stress guy, stress elimination guy, and he talked about how to 7 steps to eliminate stress. And I mean, we always have like really uh, good guests that will help, rather than just like, this is who I am.
Yes,
No,
absolutely.
and that's what I like. I like to help others, so
I
it's
love
part of it.
that. So
Thank you.
amazing. And you're also a swimming teacher and
Yes.
you teach
Spanish.
Spanish.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I like to pay my rent and have food on my table, because the
That makes a
entertainment
lot
business
of
is up and down, right? And yeah, and even when I went on the road, it was not a lot of money, and it's you get work, you can get as much work as you want, but yeah,
yes.
it's better to. I kind of like my food on my table.
I came up with a double entendre about a sitcom. Do you want to hear it? I
Yes.
can't. I keep trying to shove it out and not say it, and it keeps coming back. So I got to tell you. You know how you said it's really hard to pitch a sitcom.
Yeah.
So you could have a play on words and say you have to sit calm
Oh,
and wait and wait, sit calm.
yeah.
Okay,
Sitcom.
fine.
Yeah.
It's
Sit,
not that funny, but
and nothing will come out of it. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
familiar with that.
You don't want to sit calm. You want to sit calm.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. That's for you. I'm sure you can make it funny. I can't.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck with it.
Thank you so
Oh
much.
gosh. Thank you so much, Grace
Thank
Fraga. I
you.
appreciate your life. It means a lot in the world for other people to have someone to look up to like you. And I look
Oh,
up
you're
to
so
you.
sweet.
And
Thank
I
you.
love looking at what you're doing online. You do something different with yours than I do with this, but I still look at your professionalism and the history, the track record that you have, and the quality of guests. And so I'm really amazed at who you are as a human, and I'm
Oh,
just tickled to talk to you.
thank you.
I
Thank you.
mean
It
that.
just warmed my heart. Thank you so much. You're an
Thank you.
amazing person, and
Thank you.
and you're like a great interviewer, and you really
Thank you.
care, and you listen, and you yes and respond, and you're great. You're really good. Some people are just like question, you're like you engaged with your guest, and I love that.
Thank, thank you. And anytime you come up with an idea how I can be better, you just holler. I will take it from
Oh,
you. All
well,
of the
I'm
rest of you
here.
guys don't even try. Only Grace.
Only
Don't
well,
want
you do the
anything.
same with me. If you have any, I'm always
Okay.
open to loving notes. you know,
Yes,
loving
loving.
notes, loving notes. I know
Yes.
because sometimes people give you mean notes. I don't like those.
Yes. And pretty
Right?
soon, when is Marty Ross, our mutual friend, going to go back up on TV? America's Got Talent
I
again.
don't know. I think he's gonna go up soon. I
Yeah, I
have to
can't
actually.
wait.
It's funny you ask because I have to call him today. We're gonna talk. He texted me, and
Oh,
yeah, and so we're gonna talk today.
isn't he a doll?
Oh, he's great. I love
Oh my
Marty.
gosh.
He's
I
so
wish
funny.
him the best.
Oh,
Tell
definitely.
him hi.
I will for
Thank you.
sure.
Okay.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Thank you so much, Linda.
Love you lots.
Love
Bye.
you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody's talking at the comic spot, the comic spot, the comic spot.